So who is at fault here? Is it the victim who stepped out of the house alone? Or is it the person who blames the victim itself for the crime committed against her or him? Well, I think it's a socialization process. We just assume that it's the victim who is responsible for the atrocities committed against her or him. The insensitivity here is really terrible. आई थिंक जितना फोकस हम इंटेलिजेंस में करते हैं उतना ही फोकस अगर एम्पैथी और सेंसिटिविटी में करें तो द वर्ल्ड वुड बी अ बेटर प्लेस. सेकेंडली, by keeping girls and boys separate and preventing them to intermingle in the early school years, teachers and stakeholders are sowing the seeds of insensitivity among children. After all, how can we respect the other gender if we cannot know them?
A lot of us fail to realize how deeply this culture of rape is ingrained in all of us. How many of us on a daily basis judge a woman on the basis of her clothing, her habits, her attitude, even her body, as if we have a right to control her? This is the birth of rape culture. And not only that, if a woman is raped, it is her honor and her respect that are lost. No wonder she's afraid to speak up. She knows that she will be judged on the basis of her life choices. She knows that more accusations will be thrown at her than the rapists themselves. Rape is only the rapist's fault. Nothing else matters.
We need to stop this blaming culture. We need to understand that nobody is born with a programmed mindset. The process of shaping the character of a man or a woman begins from the day he or she is born. Early childhood is an important period of development, during which to shape the children's views on the opposite gender. Children come to understand that mothers care for and serve others, but are not cared for or serve themselves, that they remain silent and during conflict with fathers, that they are emotionally available to others, and that they are homemakers. It's from this point in life he or she starts thinking that a man must be more powerful than a woman, which is completely wrong. The environment in which a man lives affects his attitude and behavior towards women. Suppose if a man sees a woman of his own family facing such a treatment, would he dare to repeat the same with somebody else? Of course no. Instead, he would be the first one to protect a girl when she feels unsafe. The national pledge that India is my country and all Indians are my brothers and sisters is not just meant to be printed in the opening pages of school textbooks, but it's for you to stick to your pledge when others around you feel unsafe. That's when you're called a mard, man against rape and discrimination.
One of the prime reasons why rape culture has still been persisting is lack of progressive education, or more specifically, lack of sex education. Now, besides our literate knowledge, when we learn to judge what's right and what's wrong and boldly inculcate it in our lives or make it our ethic, we are truly educated. Now, coming to sex education, we as kids, how did we come to know about sex? Mostly through pornography. Pornography, which is an exaggeration of sex. When porn is not watched in a safe and nurturing environment, the vulgarity creates an impression in our minds that forcing ourselves onto a woman is pleasurable for her. And this mentality sometimes leads to rape culture. So, we as humans need to progress more than we already have by having a proper sex education right from our childhood.
Please stop the blame game. Let's look at ourselves in front of a mirror and picture ourselves as our mother, as our sister, and our friend. Let's ask ourselves. Let's learn, love, and respect. Be the change.
A woman was raped. और लोग ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं कि उसका रेप उसके कपड़ों की वजह से हुआ या बाहर देर रात रहने की वजह से हुआ और न जाने क्या क्या, पर बहुत हुआ अब ये सब. She is the victim and she is treated as if she is the culprit. और जब वो पुलिस स्टेशन जाती है कंप्लेन फाइल कराने के लिए, तब उसको ऐसे क्यों ट्रीट किया जाता है कि ये उसकी गलती है.
So, suppose your house gets robbed.
You go to the police station and you tell the inspector about the incident.
How will you feel if the inspector yells at you and tells you that the robbery happened just because of you? Who told you to buy expensive things? Who told you to keep them in your house? And who told you to show off?
She cannot think or understand what should be done. She questions herself. Am I the culprit?